This episode is brought to you by Farmers Insurance. When was the last time you reviewed your insurance policy? So it's been a while, huh? Well, no worries. My friends at the Austin Brummett Agency would love to hear from you and provide you with some amazing rates. Give them a call at 678-402-8262 or email them at abrummett@farmersagent.com. That's ABRUMIT at farmersagent.com, and tell them Harley sent you. Insiders, Inside the Bubble with Harley G is now sponsored by BetterHelp. As a partner of this episode, listeners can access the BetterHelp link located in the show notes to receive 10% off your first month of therapy with BetterHelp and get matched with a therapist who will listen and help. Go to BetterHelp, that is BetterHelp.com/inside the bubble, the link to get started. You're listening to Inside the Bubble with Harley G, the podcast for the Superwoman. Every week, we connect with amazing individuals who share their inspirational experiences and stories while motivating and inspiring purpose. It's time to hang your cape. Grab your coffee, your water, your cocktail, and come on inside the bubble with me, your host, Harley G. Welcome to Inside the Bubble with Harley G. So today I actually have Heystax with me. Yes, so indeed. I'm not going to get into the story about how we met because, if my husband listens to this, he might be like, what? Anyway, but I was with my sister. So, okay. All right. It wasn't that bad. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to get into your story because I feel like your story has so many components to it. So when I was listening to your story, there's victory, there's perseverance, there's loss, there's grief, there's self-reflection, and so I really want to get into it and tell us a little bit about how you grew up. So you said you play football. Like, what was your upbringing like?
It was cool. I got a Caribbean mother.
And yes.
And then,
I'm all about the Caribbeans. Yes.
And then Atlanta native father.
Okay.
Yep.
That's an interesting mix.
It's a combination, right? And so he grew up on the west side, like Adamsville, and then he moved us over to Norcross, like when my older brother was born.
Yeah.
And then after that, he later meets my mom, and then has me and my younger brother. So I grew up as me and two brothers.
Three boys? Oh boy.
Yep,
okay.
Yep. Nothing was safe in the house ever. Nothing.
Every single thing got broken at some point.
My dad just gave up on the living room. He didn't even put furniture in it anymore. He was just like,
don't worry about it.
He had his room and he was like, y'all do what y'all want. Like,
listen, my mom put a lock on her bedroom door.
Yeah.
We were three girls and we probably were just as bad. But she was like, y'all can break anything else in this house, but y'all not coming in that room.
Right.
That's how bad it was. So anyway, I can
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes indeed. So I mean, growing up with them is just cool. Like, it's just a bunch of like, we had our moments, just like being brothers. Yeah. It's just like, it's just a cool thing. Like, we had each other. Like,
yeah.
And so my dad always like really made us like focus on like, y'all got each other.
That
like,
bond.
Y'all make sure y'all stick together. So each of us had our own like different ways. It's funny, like my big brother, he's more of like, he used to rap.
Oh.
And he was like more of like, of a scholar.
Okay.
And then my younger brother is kind of the same way, but he also was playing football. He and I had the same mother, so we're a little closer as far as, and it's closer in age. My big brother's like 7 years older than me, and then my younger brother's 18 months younger than me.
Same thing with my sisters.
For real?
Yeah, so I'm the oldest, and then the next one, we're 4 years apart, but then they're 14 months apart. So they're really... growing up, I felt like they were always maybe a little bit closer.
A little cliquey,
yeah, a little cliquey, but it's okay though.
Yeah,
I ain't throwing shade.
The love is still the same.
Exactly.
The love is still the same. So yeah, man, being that middle child, like I grew up with all the middle child things, all of them, like all the stereotypes are true.
He's like, they're all true.
They're all true about the middle child.
Oh
it's
my
like,
gosh.
It's like you watch your big brother do stuff, and it's like I could do that too.
Yeah.
But then it's like he's kind of got to. You've seen the example that was made out of him, so you know how to. You got to learn how to sneak around and maneuver, right?
Yeah.
And then you got your younger brother. He kind of trying to keep around with you, and it's like so I go off in all these different. I like learned a lot about like relationships early. I was like, I was in intense relationships growing up, like 5th grade.
Wow!
I'm in love.
5th grade.
I'm in love. Like,
I'm gonna marry her, Mom.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I told Mom, like every girlfriend I had is like basically like I was married. Like I've been married at least 7 times. and never had a wedding. I've been married at least 7 times. I swear. So,
that is so awesome. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. So grew up. It sounds like you and your brothers had an amazing relationship.
Yeah, it was super.
You guys still close?
Yeah, we all still close. I'm going to see my big brother I was just with my younger brother yesterday.
Okay.
And we're gonna go see my big brother today.
Okay. Are they all both in Atlanta?
They are.
Okay.
So my older brother's in Loganville. My younger brother's in in Tucker.
I don't even know what that is on the map.
Loganville is like think like deep Gwinnett. Like
wow.
Like Grayson.
Oh my
you know
gosh.
Where Lawrenceville is?
Yes, I know where it is.
Lawrenceville is Grayson. Past
it
Grayson.
takes me like an hour and a half to get there.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be driving today.
Oh my god.
Today I will be driving.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. So deep bond with your brothers. You went to school. Went to high school. Where did you go to college?
West Georgia.
West Georgia.
West Georgia.
Okay.
Go Wolves.
Let me see them. Okay. Go Wolves. Go Wolves. All right.
Yes, indeed.
Did you always know that you wanted to be an entertainer? You were attracted to music. Was that something that was always part of your life?
I think I've always wanted like entertaining.
Okay.
Like I've always liked that. Like, and that's why I use football to do it. I didn't realize that that's what I was using football for until I was like at the back end of my career. I was like, I really like entertaining people. Like since I was a kid, I think I just had this like extra like thing of it, wanting attention.
Life of the party.
You know, having a little brother and you know he's the baby. It's like my parents are just like
he's so
and
cute.
I'm like let me go get it. I'm gonna find some attention somewhere.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so I just grew to like love that. You know,
Yeah.
and like but then it went from like finding attention to actually being like, how can I like make people's days a little bit better? You know what I'm saying? Because it made me feel good. So it's my most selfish act is making others feel good.
Okay.
Like to be honest. So
it's not too bad.
you know, that's my most selfish act.
Yeah.
It's like,
if that's how selfish you are, then oh my god.
Because it makes me extremely happy to see somebody like a smile on somebody's face or like, you know, just somebody being wild or something like that. So when I'm playing football, that's what I was doing. Like, I made a show out of it all the time. So it's like.
So you're one of those people like you did a touchdown and then you were like dancing.
I had my like thing. Like people knew my thing. Like even when you're talking to my godmom, she know when like I'm getting those A skips in on the sideline. She's like, oh, it's about to go down. It's about to go down.
Oh my gosh.
I was have my fist up.
Yeah.
You know, raising the ball up to the end zone. Just the attitude was just always like.
It was always there.
I'm gonna make sure that everybody feels this. The way I warm up was like strategic, like switching the cleats out, like you know, painting the bottom of my cleats. Our wolf walk. We used to do this thing called a wolf walk, and like we'll walk through as a team before the game, like, before we even have on like our pads and stuff. And I wear this big chain. Like it was like this huge, like it's like a chain that's used for like
Flavor's chain.
It was like big. It
oh
was like actual
my
links.
Gosh.
Actual links, right?
Oh my
actual big links. And so I go to the Tractor Supply store and have them cut it for me. Then I put a padlock on it.
What?
And I'll tell everybody that I'm a slave of God. I'll tell everybody that. Like that was my.
The fact that you brought baby Jesus into it.
I had to. Cause I had to look, man. It's you know, I'm like,
oh my gosh,
I'm here. Like,
okay,
we here.
Okay,
you know,
right.
It was, and I still wear that chain in music now. I gave it a rest because I got plans for it later. But you know, through my first album, it was themed a lot around that, bringing it back into my music career.
All right, all right. So you grew up, and when did you feel like, okay, life is starting to happen now? Like, I'm starting to go through life.
2017.
Okay.
2017.
Okay.
For sure. So I'm like training, and I'm training to go to the NFL.
Okay.
That's like that's my mind on that. But in the back of my mind, I knew I didn't really want to do it.
Why not?
I just didn't. I was done. Like I gave it everything I had. I played from the time since I was like 6 or 7 years old, and at the time, you know, I can't remember, mid-20s, low 20s, and I'm like still striving for football, but I did not want. I knew that I wanted to be like focus more on being an artist.
Okay.
And I was tired of using my body to. Okay. And I had a good conversation with one of my mentors. And when I say mentors, like I haven't even talked to him in a long time, but he was like a guide for me at that time period. Yeah. And while I was training, he was like kind of just talking to me about football, talking to me about sports, and he was like, you know, he was very one of the woke people, and he was kind of hitting me with some stuff. Yeah. Like, he was just like, in our community, we learn to make someone look bad to glorify ourselves, like picking the winner and picking the loser. And we literally thrive off of embarrassing our own people in competition when we actually, it's training. He's like, we're training to be competitive with people rather than being cohesive and rather than being together. Yes. And he was just teaching me a lot about that type of stuff. But in the process of this, it's like I'm still training for it, but it's like I'm just slowly losing. I already kind of didn't want to, but I felt like it would have been a slap in the face to the rest of my family and everybody else to like.
Because everybody had that expectation. Yeah, right. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Like, you know, like I'm in the Hall of Fame in my school and everything. Yeah. So it's like one of those situations. Like everybody, why didn't you go? Why didn't you go? And I was on track. I was doing everything I was supposed to do, and I actually had a workout being able to be set up with an NFL team. So 10 days before that workout, I'm at Jason's Deli, and I was writing a prayer. I was just praying. I'm like, God, like, because I'm feeling like, you know, it's about to get real. Yeah. But I really want to do what I'm supposed to do. Like, I'm making a choice right now. I'm making this decision myself to say, I'm going to go to the NFL because I got to. And I'm going to do this. But I was like praying. I was like, God, like, if you need to adjust this, or if you need to, like, if this is what I'm supposed to do, show me. Whatever I need to do, make it clear. Yeah. But don't hurt me too bad because I still want
we want God to, like, show us stuff, but, like, can you do it, like, in a nice way?
Yeah, don't, like,
please, don't throw trials and tribulations into
not
there.
Too many. Just me. Like, I want to still trust you. Like, you know what I'm saying? I want to still trust you at the end of the day.
Like, it don't have to hurt. Does it have to hurt?
Like, don't, like,
oh my gosh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, speak to me how you got to speak to me while I know it's you. Exactly. But don't, like, don't be extra. Come on, like, I'm listening. My ears already peeled back.
Exactly.
I'm watching. Like,
exactly.
What you got to do.
With it. Exactly.
I literally leave Jason's Deli, and this is December of 2017. And that night I would be going to the studio with my friends from time to time, but I had actually scheduled my first solo studio session that evening. And it's 10 days before my workout for the NFL. But I'm still like dipping in music, but I didn't want people to know, like, you know, I'm like, but I'm like enjoying it. It's like my like hobby. I'm leaving Jason's Deli. I'm heading home to get ready to go to the studio session. And I'm at this 4-way, and I'm the first car, and it's like Buford Drive, which is about 55 mile per hour zone. My dad's house is literally on the other side of there. Like, I could just go up and less than a mile away, my dad lived right there. So, I don't know what happened. Like, I don't know what happened. I wasn't on nothing. I just me just on life. I thought the light turned green. I don't know why. I'm just driving casually, and I just see a bunch of lights to the right. Boom, 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 boom. My car just hit like a pinball, spinning. I didn't, like, hit the steering wheel, hit the window, went across the car. The whole middle console came, like, my body, like, took the whole middle console out and smacked my face up against that window, that door. I ended up with a concussion. That was, like, my 4th concussion on file. I had, like, damage, like, my back in a way, like, in that moment, like, football was done. Like, in that moment, like, football was over with.
Ladies, I know there's so much to do and not enough time in the day. Trust me. I'm right there with you. But what are you doing for yourself? Well, I've recently discovered Body Bar Pilates. Let me tell you a little bit about it. Body Bar Pilates will challenge all of your major muscle groups and provide you with a full body workout. Wow. Listen, I had to check it out. I took a class with Sherelle and it was amazing. They have workouts for all skill levels, whether you're just starting out or you're just looking for a new way to move your body. This is the community for you. Check out my friends at Body Bar Pilates East Cobb or give them a call at 678-941-4371. And don't forget to mention me, Harli G.
There was no more football for me, like right then and there. So I get up, I would check on the two girls that hit me. They're in kind of bad shape. It's just like whistles going on, like a white noise. And I wait for the ambulance to come get them. They check me out. They let me know what's going on with me. Do you want to go in the ambulance? And I'm just like, out of it. I'm like, I've had a concussion before. I'm like, I know what y'all gonna tell me to do. Y'all gonna just tell me to stay away from too much light. Don't go to sleep yet. Take it easy. All that. Cool. So I walk home.
Oh my God.
I decided I'm gonna walk home. My phone broke in the process too.
You couldn't. Oh.
So I'm walking home, and this is the second time in my life I ever seen a shooting star. Like, at that moment, I told myself, this is the moment I can feel sorry for myself. I'm like, I can feel sorry for myself right now. Like, I'm 10 days away from what's supposed to be my future, but I can't forget what I just prayed for.
Yeah.
So, shooting star literally is like, I'm walking up the street to get ready to turn, like, into my dad's neighborhood. I was like, okay. Say less. So I just walk home. My brother's there, my little brother. I'm like, hey man, can you give me a ride to the studio? He's like, man, where's your car? I'm like, you got a car accident, it's total. He's like, he flips the light switch on. It look like I done went through 5 rounds with Tyson. My face is beat, like my eyes swollen, like lip busted. I got this cut across my forehead. Oh my eyes bloodshot red. Like, he's like, bro, we didn't take you to the hospital. Like, bro, just take me to the studio, bro. Take me to the studio. So I go in the studio and I record I think 4 out of my 6 or 7 song EP, my first EP that I ever released. I recorded 4 songs that night. Concussed, blood face, and then my engineer gave me a ride back home, and life, I just kind of I had a new direction at that point. It was like, okay. Yeah, life is different now.
That's it.
And that was it. And
you have not thought about football ever since.
For the first time ever this year, I joined the flag football league.
Oh! We go from NFL to flag football.
I just I'm gonna join this flag football league. Give me a reason to get in shape. You know what I'm saying? But besides that, as far as do I miss it? Do I need nah? That day I was done. That day I was just cool. God, I asked you. You spoke. I hear you. Let's ride.
And you made it hurt.
Hey, you made it hurt.
I didn't ask for all that.
See, God understand that my body can take stuff. It's the mental stuff that and the relationship stuff that kills me. I be like, oh no.
I mean, you've been married 7 times.
I've been married 7 times.
Since the 5th grade.
Since 5th grade.
Oh,
my first wife was in 5th grade. Oh my God. But yeah,
oh my goodness.
God knew how to talk to me in it.
Yeah.
And it worked. It sat me down. Like I had I was working as a trainer down the street, a gym that was down the street. And because my phone was broken, I slept. I had no idea of what time it was or anything like that. I walked to work. I didn't have a car. Walked to work, but they heard that I got in a car accident. But nobody could reach me.
Right.
And so I get there. My mom's at the gym. I'm like, yo, what time is it? I walk, because I'm still concussed. Like, what time is it? They're like, oh, I think my class will start at 1. It's 1:45 when I get there. It was 2 people in the gym. And they was like, man, we heard what happened. How did you just get here? I'm like, I walked. It's like, bro, you crazy. You are crazy. And my mom was there, so she took me to the hospital. And that's
finally!
That's when I went and finally got checked.
Thanks, Mom.
It takes a mom. It takes mothers.
It really does.
It takes mothers.
Oh
mothers and women, we appreciate y'all. Because without y'all, we just gonna through life.
Walk home.
You know what I'm saying?
Does that? Seriously?
Yeah, but that's when life changed. So seriously, life literally became more about just purpose and like energy and like intuitiveness and you know what I'm saying, wisdom. It wasn't about scratching and clawing and fighting anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I was so happy to be done.
So talk to me a little bit about your mom. Wise woman.
Yes, she
very
is,
wise.
Man. She is.
Your relationship with her.
Yeah, man. Me and my mom are so close now. Like that is my lady. Like love her so much. Like growing up, it was tough. It was really tough growing up.
I mean, I just want to. I have 3 boys. Ain't
that crazy how that worked out? You come from 3 sisters.
3 sisters.
3 boys.
And I have 3 boys.
Dang.
Yes. And thank God I only have 1 girl. Because if I had more than her, baby Jesus knew what he was doing.
You sound like my mom.
Oh, Jesus, take the wheel. It's so crazy, the dynamic of their relationship. Because, like, the oldest is kind of, like, reserved, quiet. And he's just, like, I don't want to be bothered. He's a teenager, so he's in that stinking teenager phase, you know. The second one is the life of the party. That boy can go anywhere. Everybody knows him. He plays football. He does everything. He's like, I just want to play as many sports as I can. Like, he's just like, that's him, right? And then the third one, I call him like my angel baby. He's the one who's like, I'm going to live with my parents for the rest of my life. I'm going to live. He's going to be that kid who lives at home and makes like $10 million. He literally sits there all day and watches documentaries.
That's crazy.
He is a walking encyclopedia.
Your kids are literally, your 3 boys are literally me and my brother. The exact same thing. Like, the exact same dynamics. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is really crazy. And it's like, and I'm like, you know, sometimes I feel like they hate each other. But I get it. I mean, like, me and my sisters, I mean, if you think 3 boys are bad, like 3 girls or whatever, you know, like, oh my gosh, I don't know how my father did it. But I do feel like they are, even when they're fighting, there's still this bond there with them that is just unbreakable. Like, nobody will be able to break that bond. Crazy enough is my daughter and my second boy have very, very similar personalities. Like, so they fight like cats and dogs. Very similar personalities. Neither one of them will back down. And I'm like, oh my God, these 2 hate each other. So one day she comes home and she's like, somebody's bothering me on the bus. And I was like, oh. I said, what's going on? And she's like, yeah, there's this kid who keeps bothering me. I tell him to stop, but he hasn't. You know, Bryson's told him to stop too. That's her twin. But he just won't stop, and he's bothering me. And then my second one was walking by and heard the conversation. Now these are like sworn enemy. Okay, they're like I said. Sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh. And he's like, where does the boy sit on the bus? And she was like, oh, you know, he sits behind me. He's like, I'm gonna handle it. Let me tell you something. I have never, ever heard of it again. He went on the bus that next day. And he was just like, bother my sister one more time.
Hey. It's okay to feud with family inside the family.
Listen, exactly. That's why I tell them. I tell them that all the time. I said, inside this house, y'all can fight like cats and dogs. Y'all can hate each other if you want to. But when you go outside, what you doing? Like, united front.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's got your back. Like, one time she was like, oh my God, I can't stand him. I said, let me tell you something. When you're grown, when you're a teenager, whenever you're grown, guess what? These 3 boys are going to come. Okay? When you need them, when your back is against the wall, guess who's going to be there for you? These 3 brothers right here. So I was like, you can hate them now if you want to, but trust me, one day you're going to be so thankful to have them there for you. I was like, girl, you know, she's 10. She's like, okay, whatever. But she's like, you don't know what you're talking about. You know, parents never know what they're talking about. Right. When you're kids. So you have this amazing relationship with your brothers, with your mother. Yeah, I can just imagine her poor, bless her heart, raising 3 boys.
I swear, man. God.
Pray for her. Okay, pray for her.
Seriously, it was such a handful, man. Oh my goodness gracious. Could you imagine having a 5th grader who's married? Could you imagine having a 5th grader with a wife?
Oh my God. Oh God.
Oh, no, man.
I love it. So you have kind of like this life-changing situation that happens, and so now you're in the studio, you're making music. What is that process like? Like, how do you decide, okay, this is the type of music I'm gonna make, or this is what I'm gonna talk about, this is a song, this is a story that I want to tell?
Right.
Like, how do you decide that?
That's a good question. It comes it's a couple different ways.
Okay.
A couple different ways. There's either gonna be a couple things that speak to me. A situation might speak to me typically like, something traumatic. When I say traumatic, because there's good trauma too. Just something that just like changes your mood. Something traumatic will always speak to me sometimes to make a song. Whether it's ridiculously good or ridiculously bad, I'm like, oh, I remember a time when something ridiculously bad happened. I wrote like 5 songs.
Yeah.
Like 5 songs.
Yeah.
Or I might hear a beat that speaks to me, and it might just pull something out of me. And the other way is like I like to just write, because I started off with spoken word. That's how I was doing at first. So I would just like write and let the words take me, and that's why I consider it to be more like some of my abstract writing. Like, so just the same way, like kind of like how the painting up there, just you just filling it out. Yeah. That I'll write and just like without a beat or anything, just write and just see what the next word takes me without focusing on like rhyme structure or anything. Then when I go to present it, I'll just let whatever happens kind of happen.
Have you ever written something and you're like, ooh, that's not good?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't know. I kind of feel like sometimes like artists, because we hear the end product, right?
Yeah.
We hear it when it's all put together, it's been marketed, it's been promoted, it's packaged, but like we see the end product, right? And so I was like, oh, that's how it happens all the like I think we have this filter, like that's how it happens all the time. They go in the studio, they lay down the beat. They put the song together and then boom, magic.
Not all the time. Not all the time.
I don't think so.
Because sometimes you might have a really good melody, right, or a really good cadence.
Yeah.
That you're gonna go. Then you gotta find a word.
Yeah.
Right. So I know I can say this now because the song is already out. It's already did well.
Oh, okay.
People already love it at this point. Okay. But it's break the rules, right? So the song says, "I still love you, still need you. What it do? Let's break all the rules." The original lyrics to that song, I don't love you, don't need you. What it do? You could bring your crew. It was terrible.
Okay.
It was terrible. And I was singing that in my head the whole time. Like, then it took me like, cause I'm getting the melody down pat. Like, I'm only singing. I'm singing these lyrics, but I'm singing to get the melody right. Then once I got content with the melody, it's like, what am I saying? What am I talking about? Like, am I mad? Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
I just made it the complete opposite of what I was saying. And now it's like, that people could sing that. Yeah. And sing it and mean it. Like,
yeah.
I don't love you. Like, what? Like, all my feelings were hurt. All my feelings had to be hurt.
Tell me a situation when you felt rejection. Meaning, like, you put this work of art together, this piece, right? You've kind of poured out your soul into this song or this album, and you're not getting the return or the response that you anticipated.
Okay. Yeah, so I learned how to adjust my perspective on that quick. Okay. My first project, right? There's a guy I really respect, and he manages his younger brother. His younger brother is a dope music artist as well. I've been like actually like kind of like on a tour with them before. I was filming for them before I was really focused on music. I was learning media so that I could like, like understand content, and all of that, because I knew that it was necessary. Like, so I'm riding around with them and stuff. So I make my first project and I send it to him. I'm like, hey man, let me know what you think, because he manages his brother. Yeah. You gotta keep in mind, his brother just opened for Kalani. Like, I filmed his brother opening for Kalani, so his music ear is inclined. Exactly. And this is 2017, my first project. Half the songs I was concussed and made this project.
So we're gonna blame it on the concussion.
We're gonna blame it on that. Not the lack of experience or first time or anything. The concussion. That was it. Exactly. But I still was like proud. I'm putting this out. I do not care. I'm putting this out. I'm sending it to people as if this is like Magna Carta. This is the one. So I send it to him. I'm like, yeah, let me know what you think. He was like, and so I messaged him back a couple days later, like, hey man, so what's up? Did you mess with it?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I did not mess with it at all. He was like, it was terrible. He just told me straight up. He was like, production was bad. He said the lyrics were bad, engineering was bad. He said the best thing you got going for you right now is your voice. He's like, you have a great tone, and you sound confident in your terribleness. I was like, alright.
Oh my God. Alright. So how do you take that?
Having a sports background and having coaches who like really helped me be they helped me be great by telling me the truth. Yeah. I take accountability for everything. Like I'm over accountable. Like I'll let you know if I'm the one tripping or messing up. Like, and so he said that, and at first I was like, oh my God, this thing it ain't even been out for 2 weeks yet. I'm gonna continue to push this.
Oh my God!
But I had to take it. I was like, you know what? Get back in there, make another. And so it's been my goal for like long. So I was like, man, I can't wait till he just hears the song and likes it. And maybe like last year, I posted a snippet of a song. It's like, okay. He said, okay, right here, man, I like this song. This is good. Yeah. And then I sent him out. And he said he listened to the album, the last one I put out. He's like, bro, you got it so much better. Like, this stuff is so good. And I'm like,
thank you.
Okay. Yeah. But you just take it as a challenge. Like, cause I feel like if you're doing what you really want to do, you want to be good at it. You want to be great at it. So it's like, you take the feedback and you get your feelings, that's your feelings out of it. Yeah. And look at it for like what it is. Like, it wasn't good. I'll tell anybody right now, that project was trash. But I'm happy I got it out because you got to build the stairs. Exactly. You got to build the stairs. Exactly. Yeah. I can't expect to come out and be like, you're just the top. Ludicrous. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's funny that that's the first person I thought of.
Listen.
That's crazy.
Crazy enough is, I have a little story. So Ludacris's brother, Choir Boy, we were at Alabama State in a band together, and I didn't even know that's who he was. What? Yeah. So, yes, I am a band geek. I'm that chick. I played the trumpet. Oh, snap. Yeah, because if I was going to be in a band, I'm not going to play some little frou-frou, no offense to the ladies, to the girls, because my best friend played clarinet. So, but I was like, no, I'm not going for the little rinky-dinky instrument. Like, I'm going to play an instrument, like a real one. And I played the trumpet, and I was first chair. Like, I was actually good. That's what's up. Started playing in middle school, played in high school. And then when I got to college, the band director was like, hey, I really need French horns because I know you play the trumpet, but I really need French horns because I don't have enough. And I was like, okay, I'll help you out. And I actually started playing the French horn. That's at Alabama State. And the band was so cool. Matter of fact, my first football game at Alabama State, we got in a fight with Jackson State and we made CNN.
For the band?
Yeah.
What?
I was like, what? Is this what college is gonna be like? Like, it was crazy. It was crazy. 1996.
That's the band.
The band. The band y'all be sleeping on the band. Okay, don't sleep on the band.
I need to go to Dallas band.
Oh, that is just.
Did you ever do that?
Yes.
What? Mm-hmm. How was that?
It's amazing.
At the Georgia Dome.
The air is electrifying. Like, there is no. If you have never been to an HBCU Battle of the Bands, you're missing out on something in life.
Yeah, I'm
telling you, there is no experience like it. But yeah, so
when do they happen?
It usually now that we're getting ready to go into football season, but it's about to happen.
For real?
Yeah, there's an HBC one that they have at the Georgia Dome every single year.
I'm going this year.
Yeah, so it's coming. But yeah, and so always knew him. He played the cymbals in the band, and I was like, in his band name. So when you go to HBCU, they give you a crab name. They call it a crab name. So it's like your rookie name that you're kind of stuck with forever.
Right.
I actually have a cute one.
What was yours?
Workout Barbie.
Workout Barbie?
Yeah.
Hey, that fits.
I mean, it does, right? But I guess he was like always singing, so they ended up calling him Choir Boy. And I was like, yeah, Choir Boy, whatever. So fast forward to years later, I moved to Atlanta, and I knew he was from Atlanta. And I moved to Atlanta, and I went to like this event or whatever. It was at Phipps. It was like one of the bars there. It was like, Friday night. It was a hot spot or whatever. This was when the clubs used to be all in Buckhead or whatever.
Oh,
yeah. And so I go there and I run into him at the bar. Do that. Anyway, so I run into him at the bar and I'm like, Choir Boy? And he's like, Harli? I'm like, what the heck? And so we're talking, catching up, and he's like, you in Atlanta now? I'm like, yeah. I was like, I forgot that you're from Atlanta. He was like, yeah, he always came back to Atlanta on the weekends. And he was like, yeah, I come here to work with my brother. And I was like, who's your brother? And he was like, Ludacris. I was like, wait, you mean your brother is Ludacris? Like,
that's crazy.
He was like, yeah, that's him. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I was like, and then I looked at him, I was like, how did I not figure that out?
They look like
yes. I was just like, wow.
That is funny.
And then literally not long after that, there was some award show where Ludacris got an award. When he got up there, he was like, I want to thank my brother Choir Boy. I was like, oh my God.
That's crazy.
I know him. It's so crazy, but it's so crazy like how it's becoming a smaller and smaller world. Like your circle of influence. I feel like when you get to a certain point and you're walking in your purpose, your circle of influence just gets bigger.
Right.
And bigger and bigger. I knew when I was starting the podcast, I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know how to do this. And it's crazy because I've been able to do this based on resources. And it's like, oh, I know somebody who's into tech world. He came over, he helped me set up. I know somebody who, she does PR. She's like, okay, Harli, this is what you need to do. You need to set up social media. You need to do it. And it's literally been me tapping into my network of individuals that I know that have been able to make this happen. It's crazy.
Right. That's beautiful.
Absolutely crazy.
That's so dope.
Yeah.
That's so dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Like when you said, thought you was going to be Ludacris. I was going to say that. Because literally I was like his name's been coming up recently, like over the past 3 days. So it's funny, like.
So I think there's something to that.
I'm telling you, like, so the producer that works out of his with his studio, out of his studio at DTP, I met him 2 nights ago. Okay. And he wants to work with me. See. So this week I'll be going over there. Yesterday I was in the studio. And I made a reference about throwing the bowls, like throw the bowls like a throwback. Like, just kind of that. And so, like, it was just fresh on my mind. That was so funny, yeah.
It's crazy.
That is so funny.
I want to take you back a little bit. So, you experienced some grief.
Yes. And I've experienced more since the time me and you talked.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Wow, that's a very short period of time. So, tell me a little bit about that.
It was like last year. A good friend of mine, she was having to be one of my ex-girlfriends as well, but a really, really good friend of mine. She passed away. And it was untimely. It was not expected. And she and I were just hanging out like probably months before that. And it was just one of those things where, like, when it happened, I that was the first time I lost somebody that close to me that I just that I was actually looking forward to seeing. Like, we were talking about yo, when she was like, I ain't been feeling good, but I'll see you soon or whatever. And then one day it was just in the air felt just crazy. And I'm at the gym and I don't know how to mention this, but I don't smoke often, right? But this day I had an urge to. She smoked a lot. So whenever we'd be around each other, I just so happened to smoke with her. And I had this urge, and it's like, I was like, why do I want to smoke so bad? So one of the dudes at the gym, he was like, I got you, man. We just go outside. I spoke with him. And I'm driving back home, and that day I drove back, I'm not listening to music, it's just quiet. And I get in the house, and I look at my phone, and me and her mom were really close too. Like, they really like, I feel like, not by default, just being an African American person, you just love African American women. But they made me just love African American women. They made me like they just like especially just the natural woman. It's just something about the natural beauty. Just like they were helping me like heal my acne and stuff like that when I was younger. Like I was just so close with them, and I saw that she had DM'd me. I was like, I wonder what she talking about. And she was like, I just wanted to let you know that Mahogany passed away today. I'm like, what? Like, you know, that was just kind of, it hit different. And it's like, we were so close that I told my girl broke down crying worse than me. And I kind of like, I didn't know how to deal with grief at all. I had no clue. I didn't even know I was grieving. I didn't think, I was like, I'm going to be okay. And, you know, at times it would hit, but, you know, I got two little kids. And a 3-year-old girl and a 1-year-old boy. And so at the time, my son was a couple months. And I just was running from dealing with it. And I didn't notice that. Like, after getting counseling, it took me about 6 months. It was like 6 months before I finally hit a wall. Like, where, like, hit a wall around September. That it was like, I just hit a wall. And I'm just like, you know, my life is like really falling apart. But it's only because I never took time to process. Didn't think I needed to, didn't want to. I just resorted to staying out. You know, I didn't want my family to see me in that state. I didn't want to. I felt like I was doing my family justice by like staying away and not letting what I'm feeling kind of like, you know, get into the harmony of the home. So I would come home from work, I'd eat, kick it, leave. Like, come back, go to work, kick a couple hours with the family, play with the kids, leave. Like, and I was doing this multiple times a week, just like, and it was just taking me to all different type of places. And one day it snapped. I was in this car, I was sitting in the back, and there's a bunch of people I just don't even know like that. Nobody knew one person in the car. And I'm like, what am I doing? Like, something hit me like, what are you doing? But I didn't know where the root of the problem came from. I thought I was fine. But I finally ended up going to get counseling and stuff like that. And I turned out that I had like this avoidant attachment style where there's like a couple of different type of attachment styles. Like, they got, I can't remember the names. I don't want to quote it. But avoidant was the one that I was dealing with. So I had to kind of like face it. And there was a lot of stuff that I was kind of feeling guilty about because of the way she passed. It's like I felt like I could have intervened in a way. And so I was kind of dealing with that guilt at the same time because
did you feel responsible?
In a way. And the reason why it was like it was alcohol related that killed her. And she was dealing with stuff like years before, like a couple years before. And she kind of was chilling out, and whenever I would be coming over, like she was telling me the whole story about like what she had went through, and I was like, yo, that's crazy. And but when I would be pulling up, I was a server, so like just natural server culture. You drink a little bit at the end of your shift or whatever. So I'm pulling up, I might be a little under the influence, but I mean, you know, maybe enough she could tell. I know she could tell, but it's like until I started realizing what was going on, that's when I stopped coming around like that under that condition. I just come through like sober because I'm like, she's needing to be sober. I'm realizing it's a real condition. So I'm coming around, I'm chilling out, but she had a friend that passed away, so she was dealing with that. And then when I would start coming around, that's when I started seeing the bottles, and I was like, I wanted to say something, but I'm like, how can I tell her how to grieve? Like, I didn't know how deep it was. And then slowly but surely, like, we just kind of like we kind of just lost communication for a while. And that part was like the part that was hurting. Like, it was just like, damn, like I thought to say something, but I didn't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? But as I said, I'm dealing with counseling, going to counseling and stuff, it helped. And I'm able to kind of look at it from more of an acceptance standpoint. And I don't want this to sound crazy, but I'm thankful that I went through that last year. Because July 10th.
You just had a recent.
Yeah.
Loss.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. One of my best friends growing up. I know him since I was 6 years old, and he was murdered. Put an air in his tire. Like, so a lot of stuff is not so much just about the loss and about the grief, but the changed perspective of life. Like, you know, Harli was just a sweet girl. Just one of the nicest girls ever. Like, it sounds like it's just like, damn, like she went like that. Like, you know, we could like, and then my homie is like, he's like literally like Mr. Norcross, like the man in my city. Like, that's my boy. Like, and seeing him go like that, it was just like, this could happen.
Yeah.
You know, it slowed me down a little bit, but I knew I needed to deal with the process. So like instantly, like I mean, it probably took me about 2-3 weeks. I caught myself doing the same type thing about 2 weeks, and I caught it. I was like, hold up. So I like, all right, I'm cutting drinking out for 30 days.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just, so I could like, not that I'm have alcoholic type thing, but I was starting to abuse it.
Yes.
And using it as a crutch.
Yeah.
Using alcohol as a crutch, because I didn't want to think. That's really what it was. I didn't want to think about it. A lot of the intrusive thoughts that was popping up, and I'm nervous about everything, scared about everything, paranoid about everything. It's like when you got a little alcohol in your system, you not as much.
Yes.
The edge is gone.
Yeah.
So it's like I was trying to get rid of the edge again. Now I'm like, you know what? Nah, like, let me deal with it. Let me face this now.
So I'm glad you say that, because I think there is a little bit of, there is a stigmatism amongst the African American community that we don't need no counseling. We don't. We Black. We don't go to counseling. We don't do therapy. That's not what we do. Like, we have a tendency to kind of say, hey, we're going to deal with it the way we deal with it or whatever. And just kind of like, even my parents, yes, I'm putting it out there, but even my parents think that way. You know, they're from the Caribbean, so they're like, we don't need no counseling. Counseling is for other people.
Right,
you know,
right.
What would you say to someone, another Black male, that's dealing with grief, that's dealing with loss, that's dealing with life, and it's like, no, I don't need counseling, or I don't need to go to therapy. I'm okay. I can deal with this.
Right. I'll let them know, like, whatever things they do. So if you go to the gym to work on your fitness, right? If you do that and you go to train your physical body and to go create results and spend time with your body to mold it to do things that you wanted to do and to push out things that don't need to be inside of your body, and you going to the gym to do that. You need to do the same thing for your mind. You need to do the same thing for your mind, same thing for your spirit. Go talk to people, because it's like, you know, the biggest thing I feel like anybody can do with anything is talk about it. But it's like when you don't want to burden people, that's why I respect counselors and stuff like that, because it's like, you don't want to burden the people that are sitting right next to you, but the counselors are trained to take care of that burden. They know how to let you listen to yourself, because sometimes we don't spend enough time talking about the stuff that's really bothering us or that really matters. So it's like, and avoiding it is not going to help it go away. It's not going to go away. It never goes away. But you find different ways to deal with it. And if you don't know how to deal with it, find somebody who can help you know how to deal with it. The same way, if you don't know how to train yourself, you go get a trainer. If you don't know how to deal with the thoughts that are in your head and you're trying to avoid thoughts that are, go deal with someone who can help you, you know, maneuver through that.
Exactly.
So that's why I tell anyone, especially just like, don't feel bad about wanting to be better. Like, give yourself the opportunity to like be as great as you know you are. Like, and if you don't think you're worth it, like, let's change your value system and find some worth in yourself so that you can understand that I'm worth paying attention to myself.
Exactly.
I'm worth giving myself, like, hearing my own voice.
Yeah. And you said value system. So a big thing for me is community and support system. Like, I don't feel like I could do anything without my support system, without my community. Like, they're the one that constantly keep me moving forward, inspire me, motivate me to do what I do. And so, what does that community look like for you?
It's funny. It's like it's building right now, even more. It's building even more. Like, definitely my family. So like, you know, this is my mom, my brother, my girl, my kids. Like, cause like my girl and I, we have a very unique relationship. It's so cool. Like, we really are like friends. She just we just let each other be each other. Like, it's not about like
who can outdo who.
And control and all of that. Like,
exactly.
I'm not attracted to that. I'm not attracted to that. All that stuff just is like, bro, I don't
have time for that.
I don't want any pressure. Like, please, let Akim, like, if we here, let's just like enjoy each other. And I could definitely say that, like, you know, that we got that, and I'm able to talk to her and be. like upfront and just and when we went through that situation when I was dealing with grief last year, I wasn't feeling that same way back then. I was feeling isolated, like because I was feeling like, well, if I'm the only person that could feel this, if I'm the only person feeling this, I don't want to put this on anybody else.
Yeah.
But now it's like through communication, the community is like you're able to see that, like, okay, you do got people who actually, and she's a counselor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That which is actually
that's like perfect.
Which is actually funny. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh.
She's a counselor, and then like my music people, like literally I call them like my people, like my tribe. Like that's my tribe.
Yeah.
Like so it's like I got my music people, my creative people I work with. And it's so beautiful. It's such a cool thing. It's like
it is.
My friends will come over and their kids. And we just vibe. Like we really like it's like tribe type living. And it's like I enjoy that. Like you helping each other. We help each other. Like yesterday, we did the coolest thing yesterday. I had a studio session because I got a show tonight. So I wanted to go in the session and just clean this one song up that I wanted to debut today. And it only took me about 30 minutes to do it, but I booked 3 hours. And I was like, I give myself the opportunity to just, go in there, exercise a little bit more, exercise my vocals and, try to make a new song. But my brother so happened to come with me and my homie Chaz. We rode together. And then Luna, she came through. She's an artist that I work with. She came through. Super dope artist. She comes through. Then, Lauren ends up coming through. She's from the gym. The gym is a big part of my tribe too.
Oh, trust me.
My gym people, they're my people. Like
the gym crew. So
they're my people, man.
Exactly.
So Impact Performance, we got them, and so like yesterday it ends up being like 8 of us in the studio, and so I'm like, man, I was like, we're gonna Wu-Tang this thing on the opposite side. Like I'm gonna pick a nice happy beat that feels good. I was like, I don't care where you are. I wanted to feel like sunshine and just like a good energy. All 8 of us, everybody, even if they ain't make music, I put everybody on the song. Everybody. I was like, I don't care if your melody if you don't like your melody, if you don't like your cadence, if you don't like your lyrics, just feel good. Go in that booth and vocally express what feeling good feels like to you. And if it matches the beat, it does. If it don't, it don't. It's one of the dopest things I've ever done in the studio. That was last night. So, like that's the tribe. It's called Tribe Freestyle.
Wow.
So
Okay, so those are the moments that you want to hang on to.
That's what I love right there.
Yeah.
It's like people we're expressing.
Yes.
We're expressing.
Yeah.
I feel like we have to create more than we consume.
Exactly, and it goes back to the beginning of the podcast when you said, I'm selfish because I want to make people happy.
Hey man, look at you
and
bringing
so
it full
that.
circle. Look
Exactly.
at that. Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Yes. And so that is part of your purpose. Yeah. Your purpose is genuinely bringing joy to other people. That's amazing.
Thank you for that.
That is amazing.
Seriously, that just amazing. Changed the whole trajectory of the way the show's gonna go today. Seriously.
So I want to talk a little bit about the album before we close or whatever. Okay. Like, this album is a story. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. So talk to us a little bit about the story without giving it away, because y'all have to listen. Right. You gotta go listen to the album. Sorry. Man. Yeah. So like last year, as I was going through all the stuff, the grief and everything, I would be making. I was catching myself making music. Yep. Simultaneously, and didn't even realize like that I was telling a story through the music. So once I made it out of that cloud, I was able to sit back and saw these pieces of music, and it was probably about 8 songs or so, and I was like, yo, this is saying something. Yep. So what I did was, I decided to make an album, and I titled it "A Beautiful Way to Let Go." Oh. Yeah, a beautiful way to let go. And because there's like a lot of songs that I had a couple unreleased songs that I wanted to just put out for people to hear, and also there was just ways of life and just like I just needed to just break myself free of. I just needed to like come out of this thing. So I formulated the album in a way where, and I'll just tell it in a brief sense, because we're actually working on a short film for this too. It's going to be dope. Okay. So the premise of the story is it's a guy, and he's in a relationship, and he and this girl break up. And it starts with an argument happens. Throughout the story, he's trying to find validation
And so he does all these different things trying to find validation. He's going making a lot of money trying to do that. You know, having these little things going on with other, you know, girls looking for validation, trying to find it. And he still ends up feeling just by himself. He catches himself trying to backtrack, but the girl is like the girl that he's with is like a wise girl. Lets him know, like, it doesn't matter, like, that you want to be here. If you're not here, like, if you're not here with yourself, then you can't be here at all. Sends him off to a place where he starts finding, like, self-value. Now he's on the process of trying to find self-value, and at the end, he makes it to the top and realizes that in order to have anything that he wants, he has to be the one to validate himself. So he's letting go of his ideas of, like, needing other people's validation to feel validated. And it's just a story that I just felt like just needed to be told for anybody. I've been there before, you know, so I was able to tell it from a real perspective.
Yeah. That resonates with me because I've always having a Caribbean mother who is a very who's a high achiever is really it's a challenge, you know, because, like, I'm telling you, these Caribbean women, they come in here and they set the bar high. You know, like, for instance, my mother always told me and my sisters, oh, you guys are going to college. That there's no arguing with that. It's not a negotiation, but we ain't got no money.
Right.
I don't know how you're going to go to college, but you're going to college. Right. And that was never a question for me. It was like, I knew my path. Like, I've always known I'm going to go to college. I'm going to get a decent job, and I'm going to graduate, and I'm going to work hard like she does. But I always, me as a person, I always had an issue when it came to confidence. And I was tied to my self-worth and my value. And I always struggled with that, to the point to where a few years ago, my manager even put it in my review. And it was said, it was like, you know your stuff, but you struggle with confidence. Like, when you're in the room, it's like you're not able to be confident about it. And I'm like, no, I'm confident. I mean, I know what I'm doing. They were like, yeah, you know what you're doing, but you don't sound like it. And I'm like, and it came back to that self-worth. Like, am I worth it? Am I good enough? Am I, it was all these questions. And it wasn't until I found my purpose that my confidence emerged. It was always there, but it was tied to my purpose. And so a few months ago, I had a launch party for the podcast, and my community showed up. They came, and it was fantastic. And at the end of the night, I was having a conversation with 3 people, and one person said, at some point during the party, I turned around and he was having a conversation with somebody else, and he was like, wait a minute, Harli had a confidence issue going on? Right. And they were like, yeah, like, if you saw Harli even like a few months ago, this is not the same Harli. And I told him, and he was just like, I cannot believe that you had a confidence issue. And I was like, what happens is when you're walking in your purpose, your confidence is there because you know this is what you were meant to do. There's no one could possibly come right now and tell me that I'm not worth it. Like, you cannot tell me what my value is, because I know it. Right. Amen. Point blank period.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
So
that's beautiful.
I think that for you got on that journey, on that path, finding that purpose a year ago, and now there is no way. I was like, confidence is written all over him. What is he talking about? It's not the same person. Yeah. But I truly believe that's because you are walking in your purpose. You are doing what you were meant to do. You are serving your community by walking in your purpose.
Amen to that. So, yeah, no, seriously, like, Yeah, I appreciate that, and I'm happy that that's a good. I'm so happy that you found it. I would have never guessed. I would have never guessed. But that is dope. That is dope.
Yeah.
That is dope. There's literally a song on there. There's multiple areas through it. I had my dad talking on the album. Oh. My mom talks on the album. My boy Corey, he talks on the album. And there's moments where I was speaking there time to time, and my boy Kendrick talks on the album. And in one of the songs where Kendrick speaks on it, the hook says, "Money making all the sense, but I've been lacking confidence. Searching for the finer things like I could never be content. Money never changed me though. It just made me take my woes, turn it to a business plan, and now I'm giving out my soul. I'm just glad I took a chance, cost about a couple bands. I was fighting all my feelings through a couple thousand hands. Now I do the money dance, crying in the mirror, bro. Mama told me say yourself and never try to say the world."
It starts with you.
Got to. That's the way you're gonna say the world.
Yeah.
And that's like, and one of the lines says, "Boycott jails by making bodies some bodies." So that's how we're gonna keep our people out of anything, is by giving them something to do.
Yeah.
You know, make them. That's in the way we gonna make somebody feel like somebody is if we be somebody.
Exactly.
And because now they can look at you and be like,
"Yep,
dang, Harley's somebody. I could be somebody too."
Listen.
As you said, a circle of influence.
Exactly.
You make one person become somebody, the next person becomes somebody.
Exactly. And it's just a trickle down effect. That's it. That's all it is. It's snowballs.
Yep.
Inspiration, motivation, purpose. This is what this podcast is about. So I want people to find you. And so where can they find the album? Where can they find you? What's your handle on social media? Like, we need all that information.
Okay, cool. Okay. So I am Heystax. That's HEYSTAX. You can find me everywhere.
It's a very unique name, guys.
You type it in on Google, it'll say American music artist. Like
you can't miss it.
Yep. And if you can find the album Beautiful They Let Go on all platforms.
Okay.
So that's like Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Amazon Music, Google Play, all of it.
Okay.
It's all there.
Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect. And social media?
Yep, Heystax. HEYSTAX.
Okay.
Yep.
And then what, can you give us like a sneak peek on like some appearances or some events that maybe you're getting ready to do?
September 11th.
Okay. Oh, can't forget that.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
And my birthday is September 6th.
Okay.
So my gift to myself is I'm throwing my first headliner show. And so it'll be at Smith's Old Bar.
Okay.
By Piedmont Park.
Okay.
And I got the upstairs venue, which is 300 people capacity.
Okay.
And I'm gonna start selling tickets next week. I got my walkthrough on Tuesday. So
perfect. So we can check you out.
It'll be Heystax and Friends.
Okay.
And Heystax and the Tribe. I don't know how I'm gonna call it.
The Tribe.
Yeah, but it's gonna be dope.
It's gonna be dope.
The Tribe, right?
Yeah,
it hits hard, right?
Yeah. VIP thing going on.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I like it.
It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope. That show is gonna. Can't wait.
All right. Well, I would like to be there, so send me the info. I will be there to support. And guys, I hope you enjoyed our show today. With Heystax, just dropping the knowledge, personal growth, just really showing us how you can find purpose through whatever situation, whatever your story, whatever your experience is. You can find your purpose. And I'm so glad you came on my show today.
I'm so happy to be here.
I'm really excited for people to hear your story, because I feel like this is something that is so relatable. People deal with grief every single day, right? And sometimes we kind of feel like that grief, like we let it define. Don't let that one thing define you. You're so much bigger than it is, right? And so I'm glad you could come and really kind of speak to the audience and tell them, you know what, go through it. Like, take your time and go through it. If you have to cry, if you have to, whatever it is that you need to do it. There's no right or wrong way to do it, right? So go through those motions. It's so important. So, again, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Check Heystax out on social media. He's there. And definitely, if you have the opportunity to hit up that event on September 11th, we'll get some information out to you all, to all the listeners. And remember, we're dropping episodes every Monday. So please make sure that you follow, like, share, and subscribe. Inside the Bubble with Harli G, we are out. I hope you enjoyed our show today. Hit the subscribe button and share. Share this pod with your family, with your friends, with your girlfriends. And follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Inside the Bubble with HG. Keep the conversation going. Drop us a heart emoji. Engage with us. We would love to hear from you. New episodes are dropping every Monday on your podcast streaming platforms. And remember, there's purpose in your story.